carry such sadness as devastating effects on people's lives, particularly those who don't understand soul choices and even those who do. When we're planning our lives on earth, do we choose to experience loss of loved ones? Some people seem to experience so many losses, and even when the bigger picture can be understood, it can still leave such a deep imprint of loss and sadness throughout the rest of the human life. I know on your side of the veil it is experienced and viewed so differently, but I can't envision a time when humans will truly celebrate in their heart the passing of a loved one. With reference to my personal experience of loss, while I feel I understand the experience from the soul perspective, and I know it was the choice of the person to leave, I still feel the impact a year later. I understand that I can communicate with him energetically, but it doesn't seem the same. I still wonder why I chose the experience of such powerful, short-lived connection. In that regard, it doesn't make sense to me. So if I can't fully process the experience in my heart, how can those who haven't awakened do this? And I wonder how the new energy can assist humans in their grief.
Loss and the grief is a very, very real thing. And it would be quite a denial to say that it doesn't exist or to try to block it off. There is a soul-to-soul connection as well as a human-to-human, and it is one of those things that we would encourage any Shambra, any human, to actually allow themselves to feel that loss. Generally, when the sense of grieving goes on and on, as it has in your case, is you're not letting yourself totally feel the loss. Part of you is saying that you have to be strong, you have to let go, you have to be spiritual, you have all this Shambra training, so why would you possibly feel loss? Allow yourself to dive into that loss. Now, this is going to be one of the hardest ones. Because when you dive into it, you are going to feel consumed by it. You're going to feel that it is totally absorbing you, and the loss you're going to feel at times is grander than you are. But by allowing yourself to go into it and experience it, you will also discover the blessing in the relationship, the blessing in the loss itself, and a true heartfelt understanding that this dear one is not lost at all. This is a difficult one in your case because you are what we would call early connections from way back to the earliest times near the wall of fire, where you met from the beginning and you've been so very close. Right now there's more of a feeling than just the loss of the human, thinking that you lost them, but as you're moving into higher levels of consciousness and the very real potential of ascension after this lifetime, you're feeling that you may never see this angel, this spirit being again. You're feeling that they're going to be in the physical or earth realms for a while more, which they probably will be, have other incarnations coming up. You go off into ascension, so you're feeling a sense of great fear or disconnection here. This is bringing up so many of the issues. Allow yourself to go in and feel it at a very deep level. Understand that you're not going to be consumed by it, but there's something very beautiful in here for you. If you do feel overwhelmed by the loss and the grief and the fear of going into your own ascension without them, remember, I am that I am. Thank you.
Hi, St. Germain. I have a question. You addressed some of it earlier today.
You have about 4 questions, but go ahead.
I'll get up every month and check. You know what is said, your life is your art. I had an experience several years ago, and I've worked with it. I can't say I fully understood it. Today, what you addressed, moving into energy and bringing the potential for peace, that helped me understand what I can do with this particular experience. And maybe that's it, but I'm going to ask the question for myself and for all of Shambra. The situation I experienced several years ago was being on an airplane with a supposed terrorist and being, that whole scene with my children. So that was a very intense opportunity to take a look at, what is going on in our current world, what can we do with this? So now obviously we can go in and expand that potential. Can you help me take a look at this experience from a higher perspective? Is there more we can do with this? And also, for all of Chambre who have had these experiences, will have these experiences, what are we doing with these? And how do we help our children when they have come into these very young and very open?
Okay. David, 4 questions. All contained within one. I keep this, indeed, I'm having fun. I'll make this quite simple. This is all of Chambre, but I'm using your situation as a real life story. Your presence in situations literally changes the potential of the outcome of the situation. You could be sitting on an airplane with a potential terrorist, and just you being there, your presence, can change the potential outcome. It's not that you're trying to inflict your will on it, but how do you say the way of putting it, it shines a light on an otherwise dark situation. It opens new pathways of consciousness that weren't there, that wouldn't necessarily be there if you weren't there. So often, Chambre, you find yourself, for instance, suddenly driving down the road and lost and not sure why you're there. Perhaps your physical as well as your energetic presence needs to be there. You find yourself in unusual circumstances and wonder how you got there, because you were led to that situation knowing that you add a new energy element to an old energy conflicted and very potentially harmful situation. Literally right now, as I talk, right now, there are Chambre in Israel and in the Mideast who are finding themselves suddenly in a place they're not sure why. They're finding themselves bringing their new consciousness into a very difficult situation. This is part of what you have agreed to do, all of you, and to be there as a type of human angel, bringing a new light to difficult human situations. You have been called there at some level by a human or sometimes by a group of humans who is calling out for resolution, who is calling out to the angels, or what you would call heavenly angels, for guidance, and you are responding by just being there. Some of you have a hard time understanding how just your presence can change an entire situation. You think you have to be doing something, that you have to be